Welcome back to this week's edition of the Road to Indy, presented by Southern Seminary and Boyce College. This week, we're talking all things exhibit hall. And I am joined by Rachel Gulledge, who manages the exhibit hall here for us at the executive committee. Rachel, thanks for joining us.
I'm so glad to be here, Jonathan. Thanks for having me.
And you joined us last year for the Road to Indy, but it was the Road to New Orleans then. So, last year's edition, the Road to New Orleans, you joined us. You talked about the exhibit hall last year. One of the things we talked about last year, we're doing it again this year, is having the exhibit hall open at 3 o'clock on Sunday. So it opens this year, June 9th, 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And we closed it a little bit early because of the Pastors Conference. But hey, really exciting last year, really went well. Messengers really enjoyed that. And we're doing it again this year.
Absolutely. I even had some exhibitors that were exhibiting for the first time last year. They returned, and one of the reasons why is because they had so many great conversations and connections that were made on Sunday specifically. And so we're so excited to offer that again for our messengers and attendees.
Yeah, so you can find out about the exhibit hall and the hours and everything in the app, but the hours, just so you know them, on 3 to 7 on the Sunday, so 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Sunday, 8 to 6 on Monday and Tuesday, and then 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We shut it down early on Wednesday. So those are the hours. Rachel just talked about there's a lot of exhibitors. I know last year was our biggest exhibit hall I think we'd had in several years, if not ever. This year, we're, I think, right at the same number.
Yeah, so last year was our biggest exhibit hall we've ever had, and this year we're just matching it with the same number. We have 215 exhibitors. We probably had an 80% retaining, so we were bringing at most of our exhibitors we had last year. They're super excited to see our messengers and attendees again this year, but we're also bringing some new exhibitors who've never exhibited with us before, and so they're really excited to meet Southern Baptist and get connected with them.
Now, one of the highlights every year at the exhibit hall is the Lifeway booth this year, the Lifeway Village. We had Ben Mandrell on to talk about that. You can go back and watch that episode, but you get the CP stage as well, where we have interviews going on all day on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and on Wednesday morning. But what are some other highlights that we maybe expect to see this year in the exhibit hall, Rachel?
Yeah, so we have the Lifeway booth, which you mentioned. I believe that is going to be the biggest they've ever done, which we're excited about that. We are also going to bring back our food court that we had last year. So we're really excited about having an opportunity for people to eat lunch or get a snack or a beverage in our food court. We also, every year, we highlight our state convention, our host state convention. So we're going to have the Indiana State Convention right front and center when you first enter those big double doors. We're excited about meeting them and them connecting with our guests and attendees. We have, like I mentioned, a lot of new exhibitors coming in, but then we, of course, you always need to be lookout for our SBC entities as well as our seminaries. And then we have a lot of our Southern Baptist colleges all over the country that are going to be represented as well.
Yes, and you have two main entrances this year to the exhibit hall. One right outside the main halls. You can come in from, if you come out of a session, just hang a left and you'll run right into the exhibit hall there. And then also in Hall D, there's a main entrance, and that's right across from a food court in the convention center and right across from the Marriott Skywalk. So if you're staying in the Indianapolis Marriott, you can just come right across that skywalk, down the escalator, and right into the exhibit hall if it's open, obviously. But that's one of the main entrances. The other main entrance around right by the main sessions. And then also, if you're doing registration once again this year in the exhibit hall area. So if the exhibit hall is open, when you register, you'll be able to just walk in right there by the Guidestone booth. Another big booth this year by Guidestone, and they've got their health thing that they're doing in their booth this year. So if you need to get that health screening, the blood pressure screening, check that out in the Guidestone booth as well. So Rachel, you mentioned 215 exhibitors, everything from book publishers like Lifeway, obviously, to the IMB, NAM, Send Relief. Those are big booths as well. Some state conventions, Baptist colleges, and a host of other resources. And there really is something for everyone in the exhibit hall.
Absolutely. We have booths that are for children. We have some children's ministry organizations and ministries coming. We have things for evangelism, outreach. We have some vendors for churches. So if you're looking for different suppliers, that's going to be there. Our Lifeway One Source always has their suppliers and vendors that they are promoting and having. So really, you have a lot of ways to make connections. You can make connections if you're wanting to like look to further certain things you're doing at your church, or just make personal ministry connections. So we're really excited to offer just a great variety of different things in our exhibit hall again this year.
Yes, and so if you want specific information about any exhibitors or entities that are in the exhibit hall, you can just download the app that we have for the event, the SBC Annual Meeting app. Just search in the App Store or go to sbcannualmeeting.net/app. You can download that, and you can just click on the upper right-hand corner. It says exhibits. There's a map. There's an exhibitor listing. You can find out all about the exhibitors that are exhibiting this year. And also, whenever you register, don't forget, in the messenger guide, there's a map, there's an exhibitor listing, and you'll have different ads and flyers and handouts that you can use to determine, where you want to go, what you want to see, and what you want to get. I mean, a lot of free swag, and a lot of people come maybe with some extra space in the suitcase. Be sure to do that, and you can get whatever you can find, I guess, there in the exhibit hall. And also be sure to stop by that Lifeway Village and the Lifeway store. So, Rachel, anything else to add about the exhibit hall this year? I know we're really excited about having everybody in Indy.
Yeah, we're so excited. No, Jonathan, I think you covered it all. I think last year I saw someone walk away with a Yeti cooler and a chainsaw. So who knows?
I saw that person.
Yeah. Who knows what Indiana's going to bring to us? I know we're going to have several Indy cars going to be on
oh, that's right.
So who knows? You drive away with a new car.
Yeah,
Like
and WMU. I think WMU has like RA Pinewood Derby Racing that they're going to be going in theirs. So that'll be fun to watch.
I am so excited. And Jonathan, I expect for you to enter your Pinewood car.
So we have gotten a Pinewood Derby car here at the executive committee. So there may be a little entity competition that's going to happen at some point. So I may, once they get it set up, may run a few test laps and see what I need to do some tweaking, some minor modifications, jet engines, those kind of things, put in the Pinewood Derby car. So we'll see.
Well, I love it.
So yeah, be sure to check that out at the WMU booth, though. That'll be fun to watch. And hey, look, I bet if you brought a Pinewood Derby car from home, I guess you can get that through TSA. I bet they may let you run it. So, bring your Derby car and maybe you're the best in your church. Maybe you could be the best in the convention. So, winner take all there at the WMU booth. Be sure to check that out in the exhibit hall. So a lot of fun things going on in the exhibit hall this year. I'm glad you mentioned the Indy car. I know NAM's got one. I know several others have them as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see. CP Sage schedule is in the app as well. So if you want to see some good ministry discussions and things like that, those are really good. And I'm pumped about the exhibit hall again this year. It's become one of the highlights of the annual meeting. And Rachel, I want to thank you for your service to Southern Baptist for basically putting all this thing together.
Well, it's my joy and my honor, and I am so thankful and excited to be back in the funnest room at the annual meeting.
There you go. The room where they give away chainsaws, as opposed to the room where you want to use the chainsaws. So it's a lot of fun to be in the exhibit hall. So thanks, Rachel, for being here. And we want to remind you, if you're watching at home, that your road to Indy and your road back home should include a quick side trip to Southern Seminary and Boyce College right there in Louisville, Kentucky. You can go to sbts.edu/road trip to see what Southern has planned for SBC 24 road trippers just like you. And again, we hope to see you in Indianapolis this June. Join us right here next week on the Road to Indy, presented by Southern Seminary and Boyce College.